Hello and welcome to another edition of the Pit Walk from down here at the Bend. We're at the IPRA Racing for South Australia and I'm joined by Andrew with his BMW M3. Tell us a bit about the car, Andrew.
It's a very not standard M3. It's an E46 from 2002. It's all highly modified within the rules of our category. So it's the same engine that came with it, but bored and stroked out by a couple of hundred cc. It's dry sumped. It's got MCA Gold suspension. It's got big AP racing brakes. It's sort of got everything that you can have. Or that your wife will let you buy.
Was it always this particular car that you've been racing in IPRA?
No, I started with an E36, developed it as far as I could, and then thought an E46 chassis, so a newer chassis, would just be a bit easier. It's probably not faster or not much faster than the E36, but it's a lot easier to drive being a newer car.
And why BMWs? Is this something that's been with you since you're little? Or?
No. I've got an old Mustang at home, and I've had old Monaros and things. So they're such a good base for a race car, an M3. They're if you can have one within the category rules, they're so much better to start with than a Commodore or an RX-7 or one of the older Datsuns and so on. The guys are racing. They're all great cars, but I'm lazy, so I've gone for the easy, reliable.
You trust that German engineering and build from there.
They do know a little bit about building cars, so yes.
What's the M3 actually like to drive?
It's very smooth and. Because it's relatively low power compared to the big V8s, you can step on the throttle and it pretty much goes in the direction you've got it pointed. So it's great under brakes, as good as anything mid-corner speeds, and then pretty easy to get straight on it out of a corner.
Now, so far as setup and tuning and research and stuff, I couldn't help noticing you're on your laptop and looking at footage and stuff. How much extra work goes into, say, racing at this level? If
you want to be at the front, you've really got to look at your data and your videos, and I don't do enough of it, therefore I've qualified and finished fourth rather than anywhere else. But it's very useful information because you can see, what you felt, and so many drivers, so much of the time you say, I was definitely flat through that whole corner, and then you look at the data and it doesn't lie. No, you're at 70% throttle. You're not flat at all. So there's a lot of that you can learn. Braking marks, whether you braked better in that session or previous sessions, it's fantastic stuff.
It's just another level of transparency of yourself.
That's right.
That third eye.
Because we kid ourselves that it's the car and not the driver who's
we all
got something wrong.
It's the car.
Definitely.
Now, I noticed the Epilepsy Foundation livery. What's the story with that?
So I have a daughter who was born with a random mutation that gives her epilepsy and an intellectual disability and a bunch of other things that she has to live with. So we've always been involved with the Epilepsy Foundation and very happy to support them. And we run a dinner every year to raise money for research into genetic epilepsy. So that's the story behind that. Love the organisation.
Fantastic. Is there any way anyone can help out with all of that?
Yes, they can go online and donate. They can volunteer. It's actually volunteering at various events is a great way to help those organisations. It costs you nothing, and you get to meet a bunch of really special people.
As far as the livery, so it's white, it's pink, it's blue. What was the choice behind those colours? Why these colours?
Well, the blue paint, that's just a Laguna Seca blue, which was the best colour that this car came out with. It's different colours in different lights, and it looks fantastic. And then the pink and white are the colours, or the purple. Purple is the colour of epilepsy. So there's a purple day every year and so on. So purple and white were just the logo colours of epilepsy.
How did you come to own this particular M3?
I actually bought it off a mate who used to race it, and then he'd built it, and then I kind of changed a lot of it. Had a good base, and I changed a lot after that. I've put a Sequential Holinger gearbox in it. I actually took the big, huge cams that he had in the engine out and put smaller cams, and it makes it easier to drive. And the big brakes, they've been key. Just very reliable, easy brakes.
Did you do much of that work yourself, or did you shop a lot of it out? Or?
I did. I started out doing some of it myself, and then it's a good enough car that I really wanted to take it. I've taken it to Ravage Raceworks, and they look after it completely now because I wasn't getting the most out of the car because I type for a living, and it's not the same as being a motorsport expert.
Yeah, another thing we all like to think we can do.
That's exactly right.
And what got you into motorsport and cars in the first place?
Actually, that comes back to my daughter with her epilepsy. She stopped having seizures for a year or so. My wife just said, let's go and do some things that we haven't been able to do or wouldn't do. And I said, I'd get a race car. So my wife Sarah, being wonderful, said, well, go and buy a race car, get into it. So it was great. And her thing was, I'm going to write a novel. So she's still writing her novel, and I get to spend all her money while she types. It's great.
I reckon that about wraps it up from here. Thanks very much for watching, and have a great day.
Thanks, fellas. Thank you. Thanks, Dylan.
Thank you, Andrew. That was very, very good.
What are you passionate about?
This thing's like a dream. Grip the handbrake and see what's going to happen.
I made it up here too, that's a bonus.
Got the goods, I guess.
You just keep pushing your boundary, then it's good fun.
Should I be doing this?
This is just something else. I'm absolutely addicted to it. Yeah, nothing beats that.
When I had the opportunity to get it, I was taking it. That was a fantastic place to start. Always loved the colours.
Go and buy a race car.
This is friggin' cool.
You know, 15 years from now, he'll be driving it.
On the track, we are all at each other, but in the pits, everyone's mates.